Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another edition of Yami Review. Your host, Frank Michelle, as always. Today is June 5th, 2024, and I have my very honored guest, Minerva, back again on the show. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, our pleasure. We are here. Cheers. Cheers, my friends. We're here to continue speaking about the IRS and taxes, and what the law says that the IRS can do regarding your personal taxes, property taxes, business taxes. And I'm glad that you could join us again today.
Thank you so much. It is my pleasure.
You have so much information that, quite frankly, I'm impressed by it. I am. And I'm sure that our audience is going to be impressed by it as well, because here we don't want to make things up. We want to tell you the truth, whether it's written on paper or documented elsewhere, or we personally have experiences regarding these matters and these issues. And now again, welcome back. Let's start with the topic. Is collecting property taxes on your private home lawful? Big question mark. Big
question mark. So thank you again for having me. It's my pleasure. And as a little disclaimer, by no means this is legal advice. I am not a tax attorney. I am not a tax collector, IRS agent, none of that. I am just a living, breathing woman of the majority of age living on the land of Florida Republic. And now I know that the IRS has a questionable action here, because we're not supposed to be paying property taxes on our home.
And that is according to what?
According to the law, and that is exactly what we're going to do today. But please make sure that you educate yourself, and if you are going to make any changes, don't do it by yourself. Always talk to a lawyer, a tax lawyer, tax attorney for this, okay? Because this is no legal advice. This is for educational purposes only. Or a CPA, that's right. So please, I know that you're going to love this information here. You're going to find it very useful. So please share this information, because this could be life-changing for lots of people. Share and like and comment below. And if you are a tax attorney, please contact us so we can have more conversations about this topic.
And we invite them on the show as well.
Absolutely. If you're a CPA or you're a tax attorney, please contact us. We want to talk to you. All right? So I know that you're going to find a lot of value on this video, so please comment below and share and like. But talking about the taxes, let me tell you a brief story about Miss Daisy. Miss Daisy is such a sweetheart, beautiful 82 years old lady. She bought her land to raise her children, and of course, you know, in that land she had plenty of space to grow plantains and bananas and pineapples and avocados.
That will fall under the agriculture.
No. That is her home, and she has plenty of space to plant her favorite fruits and vegetables.
Yes, I know that here in Miami-Dade County, there's an ordinance, county ordinance, maybe it's a state ordinance as well, that if you have X amount of land on your property, that you're growing, you know, fruits, vegetables, raising legal animals, that you fall under the category of agricultural, which gives you a break on your taxes.
That is if you buy the land with the intention of doing that. But Miss Daisy did not do that. Miss Daisy wanted to raise her children in that piece of land. That is her home, my people. That is her home. But what happened to Miss Daisy?
Please tell us.
After raising these beautiful 3 children, are grown up right now, and let me tell you, she was making the best banana bread in town, because she was growing her own bananas right there, and the best upside down pineapple cakes with her own pineapples. And of course, you know, she was saving the seeds and replanting and selling it, you know, to friends and, you know, people in the community. And with that money, she was able to put her children through college. So as you can see,
Wow, that's wonderful.
it's not that she was having an agricultural zoning land. It was from her own home.
It's a hobby.
Yeah. But as a hobby, you know what happened? The IRS started taxing her for growing and selling things from her own home. Right now, she's 82 years old. She's alone because her three children, they're all grown up. They cannot help her. And now she doesn't have the energy right now. Pobrecita, she has to bend, with lots of pain in her back, bend down to remove the weeds and try to keep her yard clean and beautiful. But she doesn't have the energy anymore to keep baking and selling things.
And I'm sorry, but if she doesn't keep her land maintained, the county or the city can impose a fine on her property because of not keeping the lawn mowed or trash or leaves from accumulating.
Right.
And I know this because I was the chairman for the City of Miami Nuisance Abatement Board and Code Enforcement Board for 12 years. So we're aware of all these rules and regulations.
Right, so she's struggling right now to sell a cake here or banana bread there, but it's not enough money to pay the property taxes. She's about to lose her home. They have been using intimidation, coercion, extortion to remove her from that land.
Who has?
The IRS, the government.
You mean the government? The government is for the people, by the people, and of the people?
That's right, that is very sad.
The government that we pay for an Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, Coast Guard,
That's right.
National Guard,
That's
to
right.
protect our rights.
The same government.
That's
And you know
incredible.
what? She's afraid because she's alone. She doesn't have any help. And you know what? You are Miss Daisy. I am Miss Daisy. You are Miss Daisy because this could happen to you. This was not supposed to happen, and this is not supposed to be happening. And I'm gonna tell you why. From the get-go, okay? From the get-go that we started on this land, that the colonies came to this land, it was established even before a functioning government was established. The American people made sure that they would have their own land without paying any rent or any service fee. And by that, you know what is IRS, right? International, Internal Revenue Service. So it's a service that is actually doing this to our people, to we the people. But in this case law, it says very clear that the American people, before developing a properly functioning stable government, they develop a stable system of land ownership whereby the people own their land without owning any rent or service to any superior. The IRS right now is acting as a superior when they're not, because they are a private for-profit corporation. And we're going to talk more about that later, but another case law to support this.
Can you cite the case law right there?
Case law is Wallace versus Hampstead in 1863. So from the get-go, this was established, my friend, because the colonists were trying to run away from the king, and the king was taking away the land from people as he wished.
And that's why we had taxation without representation.
So, anyways, another case law to support this claim here: the American people became complete owners in their land, beholden to no lord or superior. One more time. The IRS, acting as a superior, is trying to to act above the law, because this is a case law that it was recently used in Leading Fighter versus County of Gregory in 1975. Now, those are two case laws to begin with, because we're trying to do a recap of the previous videos that we did before. The Florida State Constitution, and I am using the Florida State Constitution because we are Floridians, but my friends that are listening from other states, you can actually go to your state statutes and constitutional state articles or articles of constitution and look for similar information. You might not have it under the same numbers, but you will find it there.
Well, if it's cited under a federal case, they have to abide by it. So it would
Exactly.
be in their state constitution or tax laws.
Right, so under the Florida State Constitution, Article 7, Section 1A, under taxation and appropriations, it says very clear, no state ad valorem taxes shall be levied upon the real estate or tangible personal property. So there you go, you have two case laws that support this claim that we're not supposed to, our homes are not supposed to be taxable. We have the Florida State Constitution that is, of course, is supporting this claim, and the other one, the other state constitution, Article 7, Section 3, letter B, it says here, there shall be exempt from taxation. My friend, and to even give more support on 1983, House Joint Resolution 20, Section 10, Article 10, Section 7, it says very clear, no assessment, people, no assessment for any state or county or municipal taxation shall be levied upon the homestead. All right, and this was used in the Gray versus Winthrop in 1934.
Now, here's the thing. We here in Florida enjoy what's supposed to be homestead exemption. So we get a 25% deduction on our primary homes because of that state law and county ordinance. But that sounds like they're giving us a gift where the law says we don't have to pay that.
They are tricking us with words.
That's what I was trying to get at.
It's trickery, my friends. Is trickery. All right. So also the Code of Federal Regulations confirms that the tax system is based on voluntary compliance, and you can find that in the very first page of your IRS paper of instructions. All right, it is right there. So I am not giving you information from my head or from Wikipedia.
No, exactly what we said in the beginning of the show. We do not make up things for a pin. This is based on case law and actual state statute and federal regulations. Now that's Title 26, right, that you're quoting from?
Right, Title 26, Code of Federal Regulations, subsection 601.602, letter A.
And it says?
It says that the tax system is based on voluntary compliance. So here we are. The law says very clear that we are not supposed to pay property taxes, and even the IRS says that the tax system is based on voluntary compliance. But where is the problem? The problem here is that the Amendment 16 of the U.S. Constitution says that it gives the power to the Congress to lay and to collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises to pay. So wait a minute, why is this happening? If our state is saying that no ad valorem taxes shall be levied upon the homestead, and we have statutes and we have case laws to support that, how come the government is saying, no, you have to pay taxes according to the 16th Amendment? Well, there's something wrong with the 16th Amendment, people. The 16th Amendment was never legally ratified, okay? Meaning that it's not legal.
Well, meaning what? Who did not pass it?
Oh, okay. For a law to be ratified, it needs 36 states. And only 2 states decided to give it a go. It said okay. The other states decided not to because it had too many errors. There were too many problems with that. So they decided not to go with it, and it was never legally ratified. Now, let me give you a little bit of history here so you can understand. When was the IRS, when did they start it?
Formed?
Yeah, when was it formed?
I believe it was early 20s, right?
It was even earlier than that.
The actual agency, I mean.
Well, let me tell you this. When Lincoln was a president, he was losing the war. So he needed money to continue and to win the war. And he decided to make this corporation, but he needed money to pay the loan that he got through that corporation. What better way to ask contributions from we the people. That's when the Commissioner of Internal Revenue was formed. From there, they said...
Who appointed him? Lincoln?
He started that. He started that in order to ask for contributions from the people, and it was voluntary.
Right.
But people wanted to win the war, so they were like very willing to help. Now after that, lots of wars came and went, and we know that
still are.
And we know that those were wars. They were not even good wars for us.
No war is good.
Right, but they used it as an excuse to keep asking for contributions, okay? Now from there they divided the taxes. They put taxes, what we know as taxes, which is a direct tax, and then they used the duties, the imposts, and the excises, which is an indirect tax. Now the direct tax is not that the IRS can directly tax us.
Right.
It's a tax that they that the state is directly liable. So it's by a portion. And if there is no, for example, let me put it this way. Let's say that the government, the federal government says, we need $10 million or $1 billion because of inflation now. Because they need $1 million, and we need everybody to cooperate. So to make it apportionate, okay? They did, for example, Florida equates to 2% of the entire population of the nation. Let's say that. So now Florida has to pay 2% of that $1 billion. But it needs to be stated. They need to say, we need $1 billion to make these changes to the nation, and the state of Florida is going to be responsible for that 1%. So that's a direct tax. But they're using our homes right now, and they're taxing us excise taxes on our home. Why? Well, let's see. Now, like I said before in previous videos, the U.S., and this is very important to know, it is a private for-profit corporation, people. People get confused when they when I tell them, or ask them, do you know what first comes to your mind when I tell you United States? And most people...
Sovereign country.
Yeah, it is the country, it is the mass land, but the U.S. per se, it is the actual corporation, private for-profit corporation, acting as government, but they are a private corporation.
Well, and there's, excuse me, and there is where capitalism is from. All right, let's continue.
Yes, absolutely. So we have here that this so-called government, this private for-profit corporation acting as government, is making us pay a tax that is completely illegal according to the actual law. And on top of that, the IRS is also a private for-profit corporation acting as a federal agency. So this money that they are taking from us is not even going to the Treasury. It's going to the International Monetary Fund. Okay, it's not even staying here. So what can we do about that? Well, first of all, people, you need to understand that for the IRS to come after you, they have to prove that the 16th Amendment was legally ratified, and they can't.
Of course not.
Beyond a reasonable doubt, they have to prove that to you, but that is the only leg that they have right now in order to intimidate you and use coercion and extortion against you.
And that's our own government. So it's us attacking ourselves.
That is a private for-profit corporation acting as government. So they are in violation under the color of law.
Wow, that's a very powerful statement.
So here we have, if the Congress is giving all this supposed power, but it was not legally ratified, it means that no enabling enforcement clause to constitutionally authorize Congress to write law to enforce the new power. So originally, the taxes were to contribute for these wars, to help the nation win the wars. But through the years, they started making changes. Also, we we need to add this and we need to add that, and how about if we tax this? I mean, right now you know that the regular taxes, and I'm okay with taxes. People, I am not anti-taxes, okay? I am not anti-taxes because somehow
We just want fairness.
fairness, that's right. Because,
Under the color of law.
yeah, because right now, we need to build roads and we need to build bridges, and of course we need to contribute because it's for our advantage.
Actually, we need to rebuild our roads and our bridges. That all studies say that most bridges in the United States are 50 to 70 years behind replacement or upgrade.
Right, so instead of taking the indirect taxes to do all that, because indirect taxes, that includes duties, imports, exports, cigarettes, smoking, alcohol.
Which you know, when the United States was formed, or the colonies were formed, the profit that the government got was from importing or exporting goods or services. And that's how this nation and most nations receive monies to run the government.
Right, and those are commodities. You don't need alcohol to live, although some people might disagree with that. However, those things are commodities, those are privileges, and it's okay for the government to use those taxes in order to rebuild the roads and, you know, keep this nation the way it is supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
Right, but they did not have the power to keep changing the rules and start taxing the land of the people. Okay, so because of that, that means that in the federal courts, the IRS has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the Congress was constitutionally authorized to write the law to enforce the power alleged, granted, and exercised in operational practice, or subject matter jurisdiction in the court cannot be established.
And that's what it says on the statute.
Well, no, that is not a statute. That is the actual situation. Because if they don't have the jurisdiction, then the court cannot be in favor of the IRS. It has no subject matter jurisdiction because they cannot prove that the actual 16th Amendment was ratified. Correct.
That is incredible. Because
but they hang on to that. They hang on to that like their lives depend on it.
Well, no, their life doesn't, but the interest or the power to be with special interests do depend on that. Because what is the most profitable thing for any country? Where do they make the most money? In battles, conflicts. Why? Because they need ammunition, vehicles, airplanes, ships, whatever they need to perform a war. And the government pays for all that, but then they pass a bill to us and pay for all those things.
They get great profit.
And the companies that build these arms get huge profits.
So because of that, that means that the court cannot help the government to inform the claim for tax that IRS is bringing to the court. Because you can... In the next video, we are going to tell you how to remove your property from the tax roll. But they're not gonna be easy on you. So yeah, they're gonna use a lot of intimidation, a lot of extortion on you. But don't be afraid, my friend. You are not alone. And to answer the original question that we started with, is collecting property taxes on private homes lawful? The answer is no, it is not. According to these case laws, U.S. versus Lloyd Long, it says here the individual's right to live and own property was a natural right upon which an excise cannot be imposed. So they have been breaking the law back and forth, up and down, left and right.
And of course, this based on what case law?
Case law, U.S. versus Lloyd Long. 1993.
CR 193-91 in the year 1993.
That's right. So with that, my friends, we are going to see you on the next video to tell you exactly what to do or the steps that you could take in order to remove your home from the tax roll. And I know that this has been a value for you. So please comment below, please share with everybody.
And call our 1-800 number
Yes.
with any questions or remarks. We will definitely put them on the air so that everyone can opine and have an idea as to how we, the people, feel about this incredible lopsided application of a law that basically is non-existent. Thank you, Minerva. We'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless America.
Amen.